What's good everyone, it's your boy, your dig, 4 eyes, 2Gs here, and today, following up on my video I did talking about the questionable pass of Playboi Carti, I'm gonna do the same for Uzi. Now, admittedly, compared to Carti, I think Uzi has done far less to cross the people he came into the game with. However, there is one particular case where I feel like someone who helped him out very early on was extremely hard done by, and I wanted to break it down.
Okay, I just made a quick dub, got her lips done, I was busting out the eardrums. Okay, slipped, I done dripped up from the hip hop, I don't care about the fake. What? Fake, got a cake, cake, you talk about.
And just so we clear again, when people use the term someone sold their soul, to me it's not so much a religious Illuminati act or anything like that, but it's more so sacrificing your principles, morals, and ultimately acting untoward to someone who helped you out, showed you love for your own personal gain, whilst also holding them back. Enter Reese LaFlare. A quick history lesson firstly. Reese is a quote-unquote OG internet rapper. He came into the game all the way back in the early Tumblr days around 2011-ish, was co-signed by people like ASAP Yams, and although never fully got on that mainstream level, is highly respected by everyone in the game and has music with the likes of Key, Young Thug, Offset, Pusha T, etc. So Uzi and Reese's relationship was broken down in Reese's No Jumper interview. What I've done is taken the most important parts of the story, collated them in an easy to follow manner, so we've got an idea of what went down. It's also good to say that this is one side of the story and we don't have Uzi's perspective on this yet. So it begins with Lyle DeLuff, a well-known producer introducing Reese to Uzi. Reese at this time was already popping. Uzi was actually a fan of him and was much smaller than him at this point in time, and they began to work on music together. They had a whole album done and released a couple songs from it. Reese was also already tied with the likes of Drama and Cannon, having put out multiple tapes with Cannon, and would introduce Uzi to Drama, Cannon, as well as Wiz Khalifa. Uzi at this point was getting a lot of attention from labels, people wanting to sign him, etc., and he would talk to Reese about it. Reese says to him that Drama and Cannon are family, but at the end of the day he should make the decision that's best for him. Reese also makes a joke in this conversation that he should go and get a Dream Chasers chain, but this is where the narrative kinda goes sour. Uzi would screenshot just the part about Reese telling him to go get the DC chain and sends it to Drama. Drama of course flips out on Reese for trying to get in between them and Uzi because this was before they signed Uzi, and even though we know from the full conversation that Reese wasn't actually being serious by saying this, Drama didn't get the context, and now Drama and Cannon's relationship with Reese is strained because of Uzi manipulating this situation, and from this Uzi and Reese's relationship would begin to break down. Uzi would even post a flyer of a show that they had together with an X marking over Reese's face, but at the show nothing happened. Uzi would actually tweet that he punched Reese, which according to Reese never happened, and in fact he told Uzi that they could run the fade if they wanted to, but Uzi wasn't having it. And before we go on and continue with this story, quick shout out to Cold Trunks from my Instagram. Appreciate you showing me love and appreciate everyone else over on my IG at your dig if you don't follow your boy. Also a reminder about my Carti and Travis merch tees. We only have one medium and one XL left in the whole lot of red and one XL in the rodeo, so make sure to cop if you're interested, and make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications, all that good YouTube stuff. But let's keep going. Reese in response to this would drop a hard as diss song called 180 Seconds. If you guys haven't heard this, make sure to check it out. It's super hard and he just goes in on Uzi. Then at the Day and Night show, which is where the infamous incident that went viral occurred, apparently what happened here was, again according to Reese and his team actually tried to avoid Uzi's camp because they wanted to get the money and they didn't want to have a big situation, but then Uzi was the one who caused the scene, starts yelling at Reese, which you can see in the viral clip, but really this whole thing was staged by Uzi, and in reality people were holding him back and it was all for attention. Key also backed this up on Twitter shortly after, saying that he saw Uzi hand the camera to a friend and told him to record it, and really again Uzi just used this whole thing for attention, didn't actually want a problem, didn't actually want to fight, and just wanted the publicity of this big scene. It's also important to mention the fact that Uzi's Versa World Series name was stolen from Reese. Reese has 2 tapes with that name, and Reese claims that Uzi actually knew about his tapes already and didn't mind taking it from him. This is kind of the end of the story in terms of the beef, and later we've actually seen the two reconcile and become friends again. However, the history behind Uzi in this situation is not erased. Again, just basing this off one side of the story, we have Reese who extended his arm to Uzi early on, helped him out, set him up with Drama, Wiz, Cannon, who all helped his career immensely. Remember, one of Uzi's first mainstream hits was with Wiz, and he did end up signing to Drama and Cannon, but instead Uzi acts in a very unloyal way to him and essentially switches up on him, ruins his relationship with Drama and Cannon, and then uses him as a muse for attention and publicity, and pays back none of the generosity that Reese showed him, and in fact made actions to harm Reese's career. I think this is the most blatant example of Uzi acting in an untoward way, but also secondly is how he has constantly publicly called out Drama and Cannon. Now, sure, undoubtedly Uzi seems to have a fair case for his contract and him getting screwed over in his deal, but in my opinion, he has been slightly opportunistic in the constant public rants and social media posts about them, essentially turning thousands of people against Drama and Cannon, turning them into the bad guys in the eyes of the public. If he did this once, twice, I could understand it, because the public attention to the label issues ultimately helps him gain leverage and helps his situation, as it puts pressure on the label because they're under scrutiny, they're the ones getting the backlash, and they want to try to amend the contract, fix their relationship with Uzi, and let him release some music in order to get the public back on their side. But I think Uzi has gone a bit extreme in this regard. At the end of the day, Drama and Cannon were instrumental in Uzi's rise. They put him on his first big tours, they set him up with Wiz, etc, etc. And had they not been involved in this come up, it's a very real possibility that Uzi wouldn't have blown up in the way he did. However, as I said, ultimately, I think the Reese example is a clear case of Uzi acting in a manner where all he cared about was success, fame, attention, and didn't mind tarnishing a person's name, stepping on them, holding them back, who showed him a lot of love and helped him early on to get it. But compare this to someone like a Cardi or something like that, it's just not as extreme in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think about it. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, follow your boy on Instagram @YourDig, and there are more videos of mine on screen right now. Make sure to check them out if you haven't.